High Commission of India in Abuja has celebrated its Constitution Day to commemorate the adoption of the country's constitution, which was done on November 26, 1949. Speaking on the occasion, Abubakar Malami's son, Attorney General of the Federation, said that India and Nigeria shared a lot of values and relationships. Malami, who was represented by Mrs. Antoinette Oche-Obe, Director of International Cooperation, Ministry of Justice, said that today's Constitution Day celebration was important to India because they are the world's largest democracy.
The India Constitution defines the organizational powers and limitations, as I said earlier, well recognized as rigid and supreme. The India Constitution is the ground norm. In Nigeria, our constitution also is the ground norm. The Federal Republic of Nigeria operates 3 tiers of government: the federal, the state, the local government. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is supreme, just like the India is the ground norm. There is a provision for 2 houses, both be acting as a check on each other, to ensure that speedy laws are not made without both houses considering it properly before it is passed. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria also provided for an independent judiciary, with the Supreme Court as the apex court. The Nigerian court also protects the Constitution, settles disputes, protects the rights of citizens, of course obeys the rule of law. India and Nigeria, as democratic government, we share similar values. India, as we all know, is the largest democracy in the world, while Nigeria is the largest democracy in Africa.
Professor Ibrahim Gambari, founder of Savannah Center for Diplomacy, Democracy and Development, said that India had been a role model to the world in the area of constitution, democracy and non-alliance. He said that Nigeria could also be a role model in Africa and the world.
India has been a role model, and India must not forget this. Being a role model is not an easy thing. You have to continue to maintain that role model. You have to avoid doing things that derogate from the high regard for which India has been a role model to the world. Now, no nation is perfect. Democracy is a continuing challenge, work in progress, but at the same time, as a role model, a certain standard has to be established and has to be followed, because you were a role model for many of us in the developing world for independence. You were, I think, the first in 1947, am I correct, to get independent, and you have sustained that. Secondly, you have legitimized nationalism. That it's okay to be nationalist. It's okay to seek independence from colonial rule and colonial domination. That it is okay for self-rule and self-determination. And that's why the Africans followed that in many ways, and the OEU and now the AU said no African country is free until all African countries have become free. So the idea of freedom, the idea of self-determination was something that India gave to the world, but in particular to Africa and Asia. Just as India has been a role model for non-alignment, for democracy, for constitution, Nigeria also should and can be a role model for the rest of Africa and the black world. But after all, we are also the second biggest democracy in the world.